Hey guys, it's at number 5. So we've talked a lot about Doctrine and Covenants 6 to 7. But even as you desire things, this is what he's talking about here. If you desire it, then a way will be made. You might not get exactly the thing you were thinking, but you'll get something better. Or you'll find a place and happiness in where the Lord needs you to serve. But the desire is everything. So I always say, be very, very careful what you ask for in your prayers, because you will probably get it. So be very specific. Very specific. If you're asking for something in prayer, because Heavenly Father wants to give us all the good things. And if we're asking for something and it's seen as a good thing, He'll give it to us. But when you're like, I pray I could have more patience, well, then you get more trials because you need to learn patience. So be very specific on how you do this. So my hair's all floofy woofy up there. I tend to say things now like, in the best possible way you can see forward for us to learn this particular thing. Like the kindest, nicest, easiest way and quickest way we'll learn it. I'm really, really specific, because I've had some experiences where I haven't been so specific and I've got the answers and I've gone, it's not really what I wanted. And it's like, but that's what you asked for. And I was like, okay, so we're cryptic here. I've got to be a bit more specific. So let's look more at section 9, because we've looked at 6 and 7 and talked about some of the scriptures in there. Verse 3 says, "Be patient, my son, for it is wisdom in me, and it is not expedient that you should translate at this present time." So in other words, this is a gift that you desire, but I'm not going to give it to you at this present time. And then 7 through 14 talk about what happens when you don't get something you've asked for right away. It's interesting. He talks about that, if it's right, it'll burn in your bosom. We have talked about that. And if it's not right, then you have a stupor of thought. But let's go down to 11. It says, "Behold, it was expedient when you commenced, but you feared, and the time is past, and it is not expedient now." So if you have a fear of something, then the Lord's like, you're not ready for it yet. One day in the future maybe, but you're not ready for it yet. So I know you feel that this is in you, and it probably is, but not yet. 12, "For do you not behold that I have given unto my servant Joseph sufficient strength, whereby it is made up, and neither of you have I condemned." It's like, I'm not angry with either of you, but Joseph's got the strength to do this, and you need to do this other part. And 13, "Do this thing which I have commanded you, and you shall prosper. Be faithful and yield to no temptation." And 14, "Stand fast in the work wherefore I have called you, and a hair of your head shall not be lost, and you shall be lifted up at the last day." There's some lovely promises in there. The one I was thinking of from section 7, this was a good one. He's talking about how John asked to tarry until Christ came again, and he said that was a good desire. And then in a voice said, "For this cause the Lord said unto Peter, If it will that he tarry till I come, what is it to thee? For he desired of me that he might bring souls unto me, but thou desirest that thou mightest speedily come unto me in my kingdom. I say unto thee, Peter, this was a good desire, but my beloved had desired that he might do more, or a greater work yet among men than he has done before." Not a work that you have done, better than you have done, but a work better than he has done. We shouldn't be comparing each other, comparing ourselves to each other as our desires. Our desires are going to be different, and they're going to be answered different. And this is a really, really good example that he gives here of both had equally good desires. Peter wanted to finish the work and then return to the Lord as speedily as he could in the best way possible. John wanted to stay longer and do more among the children of men than he had done before. Not that he was trying to outdo anybody. He wasn't trying to outdo anyone else. He was just trying to say, I want to do better than I have done before, because I know I could do better. I wasn't the best. I had an anger issue problem when I was here. I could do better. I want to do better. I want to learn more. he goes on to talk about that in section 7. So sections 6 and 7 have the word desire appear over and over and over, like a lot. So what do you learn here about the importance Heavenly Father places on your desires? As in, like, He will give you what you desire. If it is a righteous thing and it's a good thing, He will give you what you desire. How then should you be looking at your desires before you start asking or before you start having them? Should you be thinking about what's going on here? And be very careful and again very specific in your prayers and asking for them. When John asked to stay on the earth until the Lord tarried on the earth until the Lord came again, I really don't think he comprehended how long it would be, what that journey would look like. I mean, he's totally doing it and he's making a great job of it, I'm sure. I don't personally know. I, to my knowledge, have not seen him. But I don't think he quite knew what he was asking for. And the same with the 3 Nephites. I don't think they quite knew what they were asking for. But also that each of us are going to have different desires. The desire Peter had was excellent. The desire John had was excellent. They were just different. And it's actually okay. Both will be answered. So what do you desire? Section 7, verse 1. Look at that. The Lord said unto me, John, my beloved, what desirest thou? So replace your name. The Lord said unto me, my beloved, what desirest thou? What desirest thou? You're like, ice cream? No, go big. So what do you desire? Really think about that. Are you just wanting stuff, or you're desiring something that is good for you, good for the other people involved, good for the Lord's work? Is it a good thing? Are you desiring things? Are you aligning with Christ and desiring things? He's going to answer you anyway, but he's going to do it in a way that's going to teach you more or going to help you be more Christ-like. So try and be aligned with that anyway. It'll just help. Section 9, when desires seem not to come, what can we learn? And that those things don't come. That's what we talked about to begin with. Those things don't come. It's expedient. It doesn't mean that you're going to fail. You'll be faithful in what I've asked you to do. You'll be fine. And what have you been called to do? And that's 9:14. There's so much to learn. Stand fast in the work with which I have called you. What have you been called to do right at this time, in this moment? And there'll be different callings that come, ones that you've had before, ones that will come now. So what are they? And are you being steadfast in them? And, the Lord's going to keep that promise of protecting you in them and doing them if you're doing them with everything that you can to do them. And sometimes you've got to hold some boundaries. There's a meeting that they want to have this week for a Relief Society. I also teach Sunday school, and I'm exhausted this week. I've had a week off from a lot of things, and I've just said, no, look, I'll join on a Zoom call from my bed. I'll do that, but I'm not coming out to a meeting. I'm just too tired, and it's just the reality of it. But I can still be plugged in. I can still be thinking about it. I can still be praying about how to help specific sisters in the ward feel part of our group. I can still pray about how to feel our group be more inclusive. And I'm a second counsellor, but I can still pray on how to support our president the most and not complain about things or not do things that are contrary to how she would do them, to support her rather than pull away from it, because that is my calling. It's also my calling to teach adult Sunday school, and I do that too. So there's a lot of things, and there's my personal callings that the Lord's called me to do, is to teach online, to teach the gospel over and over and over, and to teach mostly that He loves you and that He's there for you like He was for these guys, even though they were young, and He's there for you too. So there's so much to learn from this. It's a really, really good week around Revelation. How do we get it? What does it look like? How does it feel? So have a think about that. Enjoy your Come Find Me study with your family and individually. I will see you next week, but stay safe out there. Thanks for joining me, and I love you guys. Bye.